Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison is one of the most celebrated authors in the world. In addition to writing plays and children's books, her novels have earned her countless prestigious awards, including the Pulitzer Prize and the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Barack Obama. As the first African American woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, Morrison's work has inspired a generation of writers to follow in her footsteps. Toni Morrison was born on February 18, 1931 in Lorien, Ohio. The second of four children, Morrison's birth name was Cole Anthony Wofford. Although she grew up in a semi-integrated area, racial discrimination was a constant threat. When Morrison was 2 years old, the owner of her family's apartment building set their home on fire while they were inside because they were unable to afford the rent. Morrison turned her attention to her studies and became an avid reader. She was able to use her intellect on the debate team, her school's yearbook staff, and eventually as a secretary for the head librarian at the Lorien Public Library. When she was 12 years old, she converted to Catholicism and was baptized under the name Anthony after Saint Anthony of Padua. She later went by the nickname Toni after this saint. In 1949, Morrison decided to attend a historically black institution for her college education. She moved to Washington, D.C. to attend Howard University. While in college, Morrison experienced racial segregation in a new way. She joined the university's radical group called the Howard University Players and frequently toured the segregated South with the play. In addition, she witnessed how racial hierarchy divided people of color based on their skin tone. However, the community at Howard University also allowed her to make connections with other writers, artists, and activists that influenced her work. After graduating with a bachelor's degree in English, Morrison attended Cornell University to earn the Master of Arts in English. When she graduated in 1955, she began teaching English at Texas Southern University but returned to Howard University as a professor. While back at the university, Morrison taught the young civil rights activist Stokely Carmichael and met her husband Harold Morrison. The couple had two children, Harold and Slade. She died on 5th August. May her soul rest in peace. Marilyn Burns. Marilyn Burns, an actress who was best known as the heroine of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one of the most successful and influential horror movies of the 1970s, died on Tuesday at her home in the Houston area. She was 65. The Harris County Medical Examiner's office had not determined a cause of death. Ms. Burns' career included roles in horror films spanning 40 years, including Eaten Alive and Kiss Daddy Goodbye. She also appeared in Texas Chainsaw 3D, a box office success in 2013, reflecting the continuing popularity of the franchise. The 1974 film was made on a low budget with a cast of virtual unknowns and became a cult hit. Miss Burns' character was the only one to escape the rampage of the chainsaw-wielding maniac Leatherface. The director, Tobe Hooper, went to make Poltergeist and other horror films. In 1976, Miss Burns appeared in the television movie Helter Skelter as one of the Charles Manson's followers. She was born on 7th May 1949 in R.I.P. and died on 5th August. She grew up in Houston. She graduated from the University of Texas at Austin with a degree in drama. May her soul rest in peace. George Duke was an accomplished keyboardist, producer, arranger, bandleader, and composer. He was successful in both popular music and jazz and straddled both sides of that aisle for most of his career. Duke grew up in Martin City, California, and in high school played in his first jazz group. His early influences were Miles Davis, Les McCann, and Cal Tejeder, all of whom played a role in the diversity of his composing, playing, and arranging. After graduating from high school, he attended the San Francisco Conservatory of Music and majored in trombone and composition with a minor in contrabass. He received his bachelor's degree in music in 1967. He continued his studies at San Francisco State University, where he earned a master's degree and briefly taught at Merritt Junior College in Oakland. While in school, Duke was part of a house band at San Francisco's Half Note with Algerio. The band backed some of the biggest names in jazz, including Sonny Rollins and Dexter Gordon. He also began his recording career in 1967 while still in school. His first recording The George Duke Quartet, presented by the Jazz Workshop, was released on Germany's Saba imprint, which later became MPS, a label he enjoyed a fruitful relationship with in the 70s. In 1969, Duke heard a record on the radio by French violinist Jean-Luc Ponty, and through his relationship with Pacific Jazz honcho Dick Bock, he was able to make contact with Ponty, then eventually recorded the Jean-Luc Ponty Experience with the George Duke Trio in 1969. The band played a slew of club gigs in the Bay Area, and at one such performance, he was heard by audience members Frank Zappa and Cannonball Adderley. He was invited to join Zappa's Mothers of Invention and accepted, spending much of 1969 and 1970 with him. Duke then spent 1971 to 1972 as pianist with Cannonball Adderley's band, and then returned to Zappa from 1973 to 1975. During the sessions, Duke's wife of 40 years, Corinne, died from complications due to cancer. After some time spent away from music in order to popularly grieve, he entered the studio in early 2013 and recorded Dreamweaver, which was released in July of that year. Undergoing treatment for chronic lymphocytic leukemia, Duke passed away in Los Angeles Hospital the following month, just over a year after the passing of his wife. He was 67 years old. May his soul rest in peace. Matt Robinson. Matt Robinson was a writer, producer, and actor who originated the role of Gordon on Sesame Street, playing the part from 1969 to 1972. Robinson also created the character of Roosevelt Franklin and performed Roosevelt's voice. Born in Philadelphia, Robinson graduated from Pennsylvania University in 1958 and penned the 1962 CBS slave revolt drama Rained All Night. Robinson began writing and producing black-oriented public affairs shows for Philadelphia TV station WCAU-TV, such as Opportunity in Philadelphia. Joining the creative staff at Children's Television Workshop, Robinson was initially hired to supervise the film segments focusing on people in different lands. When the production team had difficulty finding the right actor for Gordon, who had been created as a strong male figure, Robinson took the part and had the first spoken lines in the premiere episode of Sesame Street. He took his role seriously as a role model for African American children who lacked a positive father figure. Somewhere around 4 or 5, Robinson stated in the book all about Sesame Street, a black kid is going to learn he's black. He's going to learn that's positive or negative. I want to project is a positive image. He died on 5th August. May his soul rest in peace. Shrian Evans. Joe Shrian Evans was an American actor best known for his role as Timmy Lennox in the NBC TV series Passions. He was born and raised in California, US. He had a congenital heart ailment and a rare growth disorder called achondroplasia, which limited his height to 3 feet 2 inches. Even after crossing the age of 15, he had appearance and voice of a small child. He contacted an agent at the age of 12 without his parents' knowledge and appeared in a commercial which became very popular. After this commercial, he received several offers of acting and made his screen debut with the sitcom Family Members. He featured as different characters in a number of television shows and films. He died on 5th August 2002 in California, USA. Evans was born on January 10, 1982 in Hayward, California to Cheryl and Chuck Evans. His parents divorced later. In 2000 and 2001, Evans won 2 consecutive Soap Opera Digest Awards, first for Favorite Scene Stealer and then the next year as Outstanding Male Scene Stealer for his portrayal of Timmy in the series Passions. Thank you so much for watching. Please keep supporting us because we make videos with much hard work and difficulty. Please do subscribe our channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and please do share it with your friends.